I just had a big weekend in the mountains and I was fueled by Morton's Hydrogel and Solid 160 bars. You can get 20% off with code Vuelta 2025. It's a great product. Try it out through the link below. Vuelta Stage 2. We're still in Italy from Alba to Limone, Piemonte. I just had a really spicy pizza. They told me it's spicy, be careful, but I was like, okay, I'm in Andorra, and in Spain and Andorra, people don't really like spicy food that much, but it actually was really spicy. The uphill finish was 10 Ks, 5.5%. And so who was going to control? Who wanted to get in the breakaway? Most people still on the same time GC. And in fact, it was only 4 teams that really tried to get in the breakaway. Otruba for Caja Rural, Glivar for Alpecin de Koenig, and then Dens went across for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. But look who's controlling. Look who has 2 riders of the same jersey in front. Q365, they wanted to control today. Liam Slock was also in the breakaway for Lotto. They wanted to control the breakaway for Tom Pidcock. Burgos Biache went across eventually with Fernandez, and Dens is looking back, not to see, oh, how nice is our gap. He's thinking, oh, I wish this breakaway was bigger. He eventually pulls up stumps on the breakaway because it has no prospects of success. Probably if Q365 weren't going to chase, Trek would have put Emmanuel Gabrexibir on the front to control anyway, but because it was such a small break, because the gap was 140, because Q365 were doing a good job, Trek were like, we can give Emmanuel the day off. But look at the camera. Raindrops start to settle on the camera. These roads start to get wet. At the intermediate sprint, it's a dipper. There's a downhill at like 400, 300, and then it kicks up again. And look at this dog. I don't know if it's on a flexi lead. I do not like flexi leads, but you can see how fast it can happen. The spectator's clapping, and then the dog just decides to like Darwin award itself and to go at Dan Holer's front wheel, who's 1.95 m, 2 meters tall. And that was crazy scary. At the same time, Jake Stewart does a lead out from behind as it goes a bit downhill with Ethan Vernon in the wheel. And with that momentum, there's nothing Philipsen and Pedersen can do. Like, he's already going twice their speed when he goes past, and they just have to give up on the sprint. So I think that bodes well for Vernon tomorrow. I'm actually high on Ethan Vernon for tomorrow's stage. Because of the rain, because of the roundabouts, the GC teams start to get a bit nervous, and because, Guillaume Martin, he crashes. We have our first abandonment of the Vuelta. He wouldn't be the only crash today. We see the peloton looking a very different shape to how it looked in the first sort of 80 Ks because, the road furniture, pedestrian crossings, motorbikes, spectators with dogs, maybe on a flexi lead. And we see George Bennett has crashed and gone down pretty hard through that narrowing. And look at the overhead. So Ineos go middle, UAE have got left. So UAE are control of one side of the road. Visma gets squeezed. Ineos come through with Ganna and Turner and Kwiatkowski, and then there's Q365 in front. So Visma don't really have front position. And there's this roundabout, and it only takes one rider in front making a mistake. And the Q365 rider doesn't really make a mistake either. He just, I think, pedals and loses his wheel. That causes a chain reaction. Vingegaard is the second Visma rider. He basically touches the brakes and goes down. So very, very slippery. Everyone goes down like Skittles, and the whole Visma team is down. Peacock nearly hit a lamppost, so I hope he's okay. He was okay. He continued. He contested the stage. When Vingegaard gets up quickly and is unscathed, but one Visma rider stays down, and he's doing what we saw Primoz Roglic doing in 2022 when he crashed into the hay bale in the cobble stage. He's trying to put a dislocated shoulder, it looks like, back in. This guy with the cap's trying to sort of get it in. He eventually does get back on the bike, which was good to see. So no abandonments from that crash. Vingegaard with the thumbs up to the camera to say he's okay. Hopefully he just has road rash, but we'll see. We've got a 20-minute test or 10-minute test maybe coming up. Mikkel Bjerg and Oliveira did a really good job for UAE Team Emirates in the run into this climb. But as you can see, it gets progressively harder. It's like 3%, 4% rouleur territory where you see Verona, Ganna, Campenarts, Kell O'Brien eventually pacing for Jaco Alula. And then it gets just a bit harder, and that's when Wilco Kelderman, Bob Jungels, they take over with about 5Ks to go. It's like 4-5% now. We've got some bends where it's hard to move up positions. It's like a sprint pretty much. It's hard to move up from the back. Almeida was deep. Ayuso had moved up, I think, before 2Ks to go. Tullett is looking at Bernard. It's a bit too early for Tullet, and so Bernard comes in front. Ciccone gives him the head nod, and so, yeah, Little Trek obviously want to go for this stage. Ciccone is very, very good in these sort of finishes. Like a fresh 10, 12-minute test. He's got a good kick on him, and this is where it gets a bit steeper. 2Ks to go. They turn off that road onto this one. It just kicks up noticeably. It's Bernard, and then there's Baggioli who takes over afterwards. Vingegaard slots onto the wheel of Giulio Ciccone. Ayuso has moved up into good position by this point. Ben O'Connor's around the outside, but yeah, you don't want to hit the wind too early with the draft so important on these sort of climbs. Baggioli does a great job, but even with 800 meters to go, it's a long way to the finish. We've still got a couple of minutes to the finish. Gold moves himself up. I think Felix Gold has got great legs because he was moving himself up and then attack later. Soler goes, and then great situation for UAE. Ayuso and Almeida, they're either side of Vingegaard. They're like, that's your problem. Soler's going up for the stage win. Ciccone's got no teammates. Great situation then for UAE Team Emirates playing the numbers game. Koos jumps though, so Visma neutralise it. Koos jumps. Finn Fisher Black, I think, responds in the wheel of Koos. Ciccone then is like, all right, I'll use you guys as a lead out. Vingegaard then jumps in front of Fisher Black to Koos and starts to use him as a lead out. And now we've got 350 meters to go. Felix Gold just eating wind for breakfast, or for afternoon tea rather. He's got a French trio with him. Valentin Paripantra and David Gaudu. I forgot Felix Gold's not French, but he's on a French team. He's Austrian. But yeah, Gaudu lets his wheel go because Felix Gold he's on the spinning machine, the Froome sort of wash cycle, spinning it up. And he was 5th on Britannia in the Tour de France. He's not unexplosive. He just doesn't have a sprint in the last 5 seconds. Ciccone leads it out. 180 to go. He decides to launch. And it looks like the right decision because we've got some Benz, Bernal, and Gaudu fighting for Vingegaard's wheel. Vingegaard's like, I'll go on his right-hand side. And then he's like, oh, I might get boxed that way. Goes to the left-hand side, 50 meters to go. It levels off. Ciccone looks back. Maybe it doesn't make you go faster looking back. And there was no one else in the shot except Jonas Vingegaard, who beats him on the line with a bike throw. The second time Little Trek had been beaten by a Visma rider with a bike throw this week. Actually, and Vingegaard takes his first World Tour victory of 2025 ahead of Ciccone, who was very strong. Gaudu and Bernal, great to see them in good shape. Almeida got put on 2 seconds with Goal, Hindley, Ayuso, Jorgensen, Pidcock. Here's what the Dane had to say after the stage.
How did you react when Ciccone accelerated?
Yeah, I just went in his wheel, and to be honest, before the corner, I didn't think that it would be possible to pass him. But then from the corner on, it was a bit longer to the finish than I thought. So yeah, then I could luckily just pass him.
You had a crash earlier on. Any consequences?
I don't think so. I went down, pretty hard, but seems like I didn't hurt myself too bad. I have a bit of bruises, but yeah, I think because it was so slippery, I was sliding more, so I didn't really get any bad road rash or anything.
In terms of GC, obviously Philipsen loses the red jersey, and Vingegaard goes into that 4 seconds ahead of Ciccone, 6 ahead of Gaudu, 10 ahead of Bernal, and 12 ahead of most of the other GC riders. The only notable rider that lost quite a bit of time was Tiberi. He lost 21 seconds, which is surprising. Maybe there's an issue there. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you with the recap of the uphill sprint tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.